Warning: the views and opinions expressed in this program are our own and/or those of our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of our employers. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Yeah, this is where my one-liner comes in, right? We're over here selling steak, right? Well, I sell the sizzle of the steak. That's what I do. That's how I differentiate myself from the rest of the competition.
5-year fixed?
Yeah.
Doing 10 or doing 20, or what are you doing?
No, 3-year
Maturity?
fixed, 5-year fixed, fully amortized for 30 years. So no
wow.
balloon. Yeah.
Wow, I just lost all my brokers to Zach all of a sudden.
Bring me the $3.1 million deal.
2 signatures, though. 2 signatures, bro.
Dude, I don't understand these odds, right? So the Dodgers are plus 200 to win the series, right? Right now. But then tonight, the Dodgers are minus 150.
Yeah, so Madison, another thing is that Yes Savage, that guy, he's like a unicorn, you know? He was in the minors like a few months ago or something, and so they don't know what to expect out of it.
I'm going to bet on the Dodgers to win the World Series so I can pay for Emily's headphones. Emily's like the bomb, dude.
Thank you. I think so too. Hang on, wait. Who was just in Vegas?
Me and Andrew.
Well, Daniel's always in Vegas. But anyways, you guys were at a conference.
It was
I didn't think it was that great, but
No,
you guys are, man, I'm so glad they go.
I just kind of dropped by their the mixer on the second night, and then that was actually nice because it was facing the Wynn golf course.
So really the story is they were just in Vegas and they stumbled upon this conference. They were already there.
To get out there, dude.
There are other reasons why we go.
Yeah.
You guys have to leave actual feedback for these conferences. Like, you know how they send like a post-conference survey? You need to put your comments in there as BDOs because these conferences will never grow or become what you actually are expecting out of them without that feedback. I'm not even joking. They really take it to heart.
No, and you know what I'm gonna say? There are just way too many darn MTA lenders. That's all.
Well, I wasn't officially there. I just wanted to go to mixers, but the mixers were bomb.
The cool guys are always going to be hanging out at the bar after. We all know that.
That's true.
That's why I ended up having like 6-7 drinks. But anyway.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the BDO Show. This is a podcast for BDOs by BDOs. I'm your host, Emily Detour, and I'm here with my fellow co-hosts, Andrew Chong, Daniel Park, John Chung, and Zach Bennett. At the beginning of each episode, we're always going to remind you to like, subscribe, and send your topics and suggestions to the BDO Show at artofsba.com. Okay, BDOs, it's story time. And no, I am not talking about the time Sterling tried to finance a zoo. You'll have to go back to episode 3 for that. I'm talking about the story that your borrower has in their head, and they may need that extra boost to finally get it onto paper. Rapid Business Plans is a known and trusted partner that can help them do just that. Whether your borrowers are working towards acquiring a business, starting one up, or expanding and making moves, within just a few short days, Rapid Business Plans will deliver powerful, fast SBA and USDA-ready business plans with projections and assumptions. If they need an export business plan for an ITL loan or a feasibility study, they have you covered there too. We know this process is not a walk in the park, or should I say zoo. Let the Rapid Business Plans team take some of the wild out of the process so that your borrower's vision and passions can come to life. For more information or to get acquainted, email Bethany McClellan at bethany@rapidbusinessplans.com or click the link in the show notes. All right, so today's topic was actually given to me by John, which is awesome. I love when the BDOs can come up with things that we need to talk about. These are things that are on the top of our minds. It's happening in the market, and we're just trying to get a quick pulse check on where we all stand. So I called this one the battle for the borrower. It's just navigating SBA 7A lending across institutions. We're going to talk about big banks, community banks, credit unions, and non-bank lenders, and kind of the competition in the 7A lending space right now. So, John, why don't we go ahead and we'll like I said, we'll get that market pulse check. And what kind of trends are you seeing right now across the SBA marketplace? And are there noticeable shifts in borrower behavior and lender appetite?
In the 7-day world, I'm seeing a lot of competition from the 504 lenders trying to come down and try to do fixed rate financing for projection-based deals. I think the CDCs, most of the CDCs I talk to are trying to they're behind on their goals, right? So they're trying to do more deals, right? The problem they're having is the banks aren't approving the first trust deeds on these 504s. The CDCs are obviously getting approved. I don't know. I think these guys can talk about it as well, but I mean, I'm just seeing more shopping, slower borrowers, talking to 4 or 5 different banks, pricing compression. I think premiums went down for a while, but they're a little back up right now, which is good.
Yeah.
But I think it's just losing deals with pricing and structure. That's what I'm seeing.
What I'm seeing more and more now is just rate shopping more than anything else. Because I feel like we've got more lenders coming into my little sound lot, that are competing for business, especially the 7A stuff. So, structure is basically the same, as far as like equity injection goes, et cetera, et cetera. But I think it just comes down to pricing, right? I got an inquiry yesterday. The guy's like, hey, man, I got a quote of 7.25 fixed for 5 years. Can you beat that? I'm like, no, no, you're wasting your time, man. So I mean, I know my pricing and what I'm able to do, but I'm definitely seeing more and more of these guys just looking for pricing. Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing in my little marketplace.
Well, in my neighborhood, it kind of seems like things are going a little bit extreme. So it's either very aggressive or very low rate. So that's sort of, we're kind of in the middle. There's a couple of lenders that have been kind of being ultra aggressive, and there's one of them here. But so I mean, we are on the little bit conservative side, and then so we are competing in the same market sometimes, but it's very different. I don't know if that makes any sense for people. You know what I mean? You're in the same room, but you're talking 2 different things, and you're getting 2 different types of borrowers, or 3, 4 different types of borrower. I think it's the whole this confusion or all this commotion being caused by the slowdown in the economy, the government shutdown, and it's like you go back to the same place trying to buy a similar business that's not there, and people are pivoting, shifting, whatever they're doing. So I see a little confusion in the market from where I stand.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a hybrid, I think, because I do 7A and 504, so I see probably a little bit different deals than the rest of the guys do. I'm seeing a ton of projection-based 504s, like John said. A lot of them, we can do some of them, but some of these are really wild. Like, I mean, it would be tough, I think, even for 7A deals, and these CDCs are getting them approved. So that's kind of a shift, I think, in that dynamic. So I agree with John. And I just see not only just the slowdown causing everything to slow down, I think just everything is slowing down. Like the borrowers are super slow. I feel like there's just more phase 2. There's been environmental changes. I feel like everything is just kind of slowed down from the past, from what I'm seeing, whether the borrower is just taking longer. I do a lot of turn down deals too from bigger banks, and I feel like waiting for a decision from that other bank is just taking longer and longer too. So I think just generally speaking, the market's just slower all around.
Why do you think borrowers are slower? You don't think it has anything to do with the lender?
I think they're just dragging their feet. I mean, sometimes it takes me forever to get financials. Like, whereas before it took maybe a couple of days to a week, now sometimes it takes a month. And I don't know if it's the time of the year with
I was just going to say, it's the time of the year.
But it's been brutal. Like, just everything's been dragging out on my end.
Well, let's talk about, the competitive landscape that we have out there. It's very competitive, and when you're up against other types of institutions, whether that's a big bank, a regional community lender, or a non-bank, how do you guys differentiate yourself with your deals?
Well, for myself, I could do ground up construction. So that's a lot of lenders can't and won't do ground up construction. So that's kind of what's setting me aside on a lot of transactions. I think we all kind of do the same things, but I think construction, takes a lot of time and effort, right? So a lot of banks don't have that back shop to do it. So that's kind of where I play in the market, and we do some pari passu deals as well, right? So that kind of helps. But yeah, I agree with them, and we have to talk about some of these larger banks and other institutions. they're holding on to their paper, right? So they can do fixed rate financing at really cheap, right? So they're getting good yields on it. You know, my bank, as well as I think everyone else here, we sell in the secondary market, right? So it's a different animal, right? If you're holding on to the paper and you're not selling, then you can price it any way you want to, right? And a lot of these lenders, bigger lenders, I think they're trying to see more of a relationship side of things. This entree into getting the deposits, cash management, all that other kind of stuff, which I'm not interested in. So for a borrower, you know, we're somewhat transactional, what we do, at least at my bank. If a borrower wants that, then we're probably the right place. But if they want the teaser rate or a fixed rate that's cheaper and they're willing to go the extra mile with moving all their accounts and everything over, then they're going to do that, right?
Yeah. So what I've seen, I think, is more of, you know, how when the economy was really hot, like let's say a year ago or so, and things were very competitive, that a lot of my inquiries were actually going to the larger institutions because they want a fixed rate, this and that. And once they say, let me check on so and so, and then they leave, never came back. Right? I don't know if you guys remember, like a year ago, a couple years ago, right after COVID, things were really roaring, you know. And then, but then lately, I think they have been coming back and asking again. So things like that for, you know, the larger banks, I think I see a little bit more of that going on.
Yeah, you know, this is where my one-liner comes in, right? We're over here selling steak, right? Well, I sell the sizzle of the steak. That's what I do. That's how I differentiate myself from the rest of the competition.
He does it with style. He gets style points. You go with
Hey,
the
people like dealing with me, man. I don't know what it is, you know. I come off as like some cool
Neither
guy
do
that's
I.
always on
No, I'm kidding.
LinkedIn, you know, posting emojis on LinkedIn. You know, that stuff helps, man. You know,
It
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 does.
does.
It
Think
does.
about it this
right?
way.
You got to be different, unique,
Fajitas
right?
cause a ruckus in a restaurant. When you hear it coming behind, like you're like, "Oh my God, I want
That's
that
Yes.
right.
too."
Yes.
So
And
Totally.
here's the funny part. True story. We had a dinner. I think it was Tuesday night, and I said, "Hey, on the next podcast, I'm gonna throw this little one-liner in," and here it is. Right, Andrew?
So you've
were
been
you guys
planning
in
that.
Vegas?
No, I really did say that at the steakhouse where we're at. We're like, look, I'm gonna say this at the next podcast. You
Mhm.
watch.
I'll give Daniel his credit though. I mean, I know the guy is just closing massive amounts of deals, but whenever I call him, it doesn't matter what time. I
Yeah,
think it maybe
see,
rings twice. You know, he always
I
picks
pick
up.
up.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
that's
It's
huge.
true.
You know, half the battle just being there. That's really the point here, right?
It is.
And
Yeah.
that's how you
100%.
differentiate yourself from the rest of the competition. I don't have a 9 to 5, like you know, a lot of you guys don't have that either. But I mean, that's just we gotta go about doing things around here. You know.
If you want a 9 to 5, don't be a BDO. That's all. End of
That's
story.
right.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we have a special announcement for anybody involved in M&A transactions. Our partner, Peak Business Valuation, have put together a resource just for BDO Show listeners, and they're giving it away for free. It lists out the rule of thumb formulas, or as Krogi would like to say, the down and dirty, for some of the most common industries that SBA lenders finance. I promise you it's going to come in handy. Krogi's literally still using the one he got from Nagel in 2002. By the way, if you're not thinking about evaluation at the pre-screen phase, you are missing the boat. A lot of BDOs tend to focus on the debt service coverage and they're missing the valuation completely. That's a rookie move and it will become a problem. As a consultative BDO, you should have a sense of whether the business is going to value out. And Peak's handy dandy rule of thumb is here to help. Go to peakbizval.com/BDO show to get yours today. What about some unique offerings and niches? What do your institutions have in terms of products and
Oh, we
programs
give
that
out
kind of give
cups,
you?
towels, banners, pens.
All the tchotchkes. All the tchotchkes.
You guys probably came home with a ton of tchotchke stuff from this conference, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
What did you bring home?
The one that was kind of unique was like this little cell phone holder, right? But it had like this little figurine, like do this, and you put your phone right there, so kind of like
Is that what you're
Nice.
using right now to hold your
N-
phone?
no,
No.
but it's similar. It's the same concept. Yes.
I always get excited to see like what's new on the floor and what people are giving away and what we can kind of bring that. It's starting to I don't feel like the giveaways are as big a lot of people are like, oh, it'll draw people into the booth. It's the conversations. It's actually what you do
Yeah.
that draws people into the booth, and it's who you are. It's how you act. It's how you're, having those educated conversations, because yes, people are there to fill up a bag of tchotchke crap to bring home for their grandkids or a frisbee
Mm-hmm.
for their dog. But at the end of the day, it really is, they are window shopping for the correct fit. And it's the conversation. So as much as I love your cell phone holder, did you make good connections? That's the big thing.
Yeah, well, not really at this one, but hey, that's a
I
little
know.
different.
That's
Yeah.
what you said.
Our marketing team came up with the wheel of shots, so that always gets people to our table.
With
Oh,
liquor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On the golf course, yeah, we have a good marketing team, so
that's good.
that gets people over all the time.
Let's get back to unique offerings and niches with your institutions. Like, obviously, think about your booths. Everything's different, right down to the print, the color, what you're offering. Let's pivot back to an actual lender. What makes you different?
Okay, so this is kind of like my value add, if you will, right? This is how I sell my brokers and borrowers. Look, within our bank, up to $3 million, there's no loan committee. It's literally one person signing off on it, right?
No loan committee.
You like that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So so you kind of fast track the deals, right? So hey, up to $3 million, there's no loan committee. And then up to five, from 3 to 5, then you've got the management loan committee. Then after that goes to the directors loan committee. So that alone gets a lot of people's attention, really, right? So basically, up to $3 million, you've got one signature required on a deal, right? Which is kind of a huge sell for me.
Is that signature your signature, Daniel?
No.
Done. Yes. Approved.
Yeah, man.
That is a good competitive advantage, especially
go,
because
see?
you know that some people in this
Exactly.
room right here do the
Right.
same types of deals. And so
Right.
for you to tell a borrower, hey, or your broker, there's no loan committee, we can streamline it a little.
So it's all 2.99999. That's all I'm getting nowadays. No.
Okay, Daniel, I gotta one up you. We have so up to $5 million. It's basically 2 signatures. So we're good there. That's one of our huge advantages. Being less than $10 billion bank. Another thing is that our closing or doc turnaround can be super, super fast.
Yeah.
I've seen 1 day, less than 1 day. But obviously, the brokers, borrowers have to be very cooperative. We have to have everything in place. But yeah, we've actually done that. I think that's one thing that the borrowers and brokers that come back to us, they expect it now. It's like, what do you mean 2 days? You can't get it. You can't get the docs turned around by tomorrow. That's their question sometimes. So
I see. I gotta one up you and take my thunder back from you. So what I tell them is, I've got 4 underwriters and 2 processors on my team. Yeah, beat that.
This is why I called this episode the battle for the borrower, because here you guys go.
Exactly,
You're trying to
see?
figure out
You like that,
who's
right?
better.
Yeah, so who's
Andrew,
gonna
you
one
got to
me
one up
now?
him. Andrew's like, I got 5 underwriters.
we actually just hired another one on our team. So I don't know.
There it is.
Oh.
See, it's the competitive edge as
You
a
like that,
lender.
miss. Yeah.
This is what people want to hear.
Yeah, DP and I have a small percentage of the market that we do compete on. So, yeah, there you go. Bring me the $3.1 million deal.
2 signatures though. 2
Yeah,
signatures, bro.
What about have you guys ever seen your lender have to evolve or pivot their strategy based on where the market is to get a competitive edge? Have you seen growth from your lender?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we're doing 504s and we're dipping our toe in it. We're doing California to start out with. And I think a lot of it's because BDOs get all types of deals on transactions in, right? So to attract BDO talent, as well as to offer services for the customers, right? We got a really good customer that's, kind of A credit, A, B plus credit. We're going to need to do 504s. They're not going to take a 7-8 deal. They're just not going to. So, It just kind of captures a little bit more of the market. Are we going to do a ton of 504s? I don't know. Maybe first year, not necessarily, but we'll grow that. And I think it's just more for the BDOs so they can offer different products.
Yeah,
And for the bank itself, right? Rather get a percentage of something than 100% of nothing, right? So
true.
we do a 504 deal and you get it done, the pricing that we feel somewhat comfortable with. We're not going to fill that bucket all the way, but, it's good business, right, for the bank.
Hey, John, this is just a question about a deal.
Yeah.
Would you do a ground up construction 504 deal as a first trustee
No,
lender?
that's the only thing we won't do. We'll
Okay.
do ground construction on 7A basis. Yeah,
Got
not a
it. Okay.
504.
Got it.
And a 504, we won't do any like hospitality on a 504. We'll do
Got it.
everything else,
Okay.
but hospitality on that side.
I got a request from that not too long ago, and I was just like, can't do that on the 504.
Yeah, I know somebody that does it, but we'll talk offline.
Okay. Yeah, that's a tough
Don't want to
deal.
give them like free marketing on this.
Yeah. no bank names. No bank names.
Yeah.
No free marketing over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of pivoting, what we have been doing is that 2 years ago, if you said, "Oh, this is a projection deal," I might have just said, "I don't think so. Sorry." But during the last year or so, we've been doing a lot more projection deals. I'm not talking about startups. Startups we've always done based on borrower strength and quality of the franchise and things like that, and collateral, global, all that. But we have begun to do some projection deals that we hadn't done in the past. I'm working on one right now as we speak.
So for my team, we've always been a pretty big projection based lender, and some of the deals that we previously had gotten done, they were just saying the way the economy is, we're just not comfortable doing these types of deals, and so basically we've been hounding credit like, okay, if you're looking for better deals, we need better pricing. So we actually just lowered our par rate by 0.5% last week. So
Ooh.
we're actually in the 6%, like mid to high 6% range on the 504 deals. So 1 year cash flow projections, we can get deals done that we normally maybe would be out of the realm of like a bigger bank, like someone would just go to like a Wells Fargo or a Chase. Now I'd say we're probably about 0.5% off from them, maybe to 0.25%, depending on the deal in terms of rate. But we also amortize for 30. So that's been a huge. We've been asking credit like, hey, like if you don't want to do those previous deals, we got to get better pricing. They listen to us and they have adapted the market for us. So that's been huge for us.
Damn,
Zach, is that like a 5-year fixed?
Yeah.
Doing 10 or doing 20 or what are you doing?
No, 3-year
Maturity?
fixed, 5-year fixed, fully amortized for 30 years. So there's no
wow.
balloon. Yeah.
Wow, I just lost all my brokers to Zach all of a sudden. Just right this is right.
Yeah, my phone. I called some brokers, and I don't know, word must have spread because our whole team is just getting bombarded with deals right now, which is
Dude.
great. So they wanted a year-end push, so I think we're gonna get it. So very thankful for that.
So you guys, in terms of like driving deal flow, and I know you don't want to give away too much, but because you don't want all your brokers to jump ship to the other person, but are there any new creative or fun marketing strategies that you guys have tried to generate new business?
Oh, you guys already know about my marketing strategy. Emojis after emojis after emojis. That's all
It doesn't
is.
work for everybody, but it works for you. So that's why
Hey,
it's unique.
exactly. Yes.
Because
Yeah,
it's
no,
funny.
and no
'cause
capitals.
No. All lowercase. I'm a lowercase girl too, though. I like lowercase letters better than uppercase.
Yeah,
It seems
man,
more
you know.
casual.
Yeah, I don't write long novels and I'm ending my LinkedIn posts. It's just like boom, boom, boom. Here it is.
You know what? If you want some of the younger crowd, you can like capitalize every other letter. I think that's pretty cool
that's
too.
too dizzy for me, man. No, I can't do that, dude. Puts stress on my brain. Yeah, when you do that.
Yeah.
DP's talking about LinkedIn, right? Obviously, I mean we're all on LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn's a great source. I'm on LinkedIn more than anything else, right? Even more on the social media side. I'm on Facebook, but it's more for family and friends.
Yeah.
But like LinkedIn is huge. I think there's a lot of. I'm not going to give all the secrets, but I think there's a lot of new broker shops coming out there that they're lead generation, right? So they're kind of like an online platform. You can go to them and you get deal flow from them. You can call them up. You can search the internet and like basically find them, right? And just say, hey, I want to be a lender on your platform, right? So that I think that's kind of a little bit of the future on lead generation side of things. Brokers, I mean, they'll always be around, but I think the ones that go out and meet with the bars, all that kind of stuff, it's getting fewer and fewer. I think a lot of it's more online, especially with COVID, how that changed the world, right? I think people needed to still do business, but they couldn't be in front of people, so they get in front of the computer to try to get leads or to try to get opportunities to lend on. So I'll try anything. I mean, I hate cold calling. That's the only thing I will not do because I can't handle that rejection. It's just too much and
Get
it's
your
too frequent.
fifis hurt.
I just won't do it.
Yeah, I feel like John was at my dinner table a couple days ago because I was preaching to all my buddies out there that are bankers that, hey, LinkedIn works, and I'm a prime
Does.
example of that, right? So yeah, no, kudos to you, John. I mean, that's good because I do the same thing. I'm always on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't use Facebook, Instagram, all the other stuff. I mean, I'm just, more heavily focused on LinkedIn, and it does wonders for you, man. If you just put some time into it and be genuine out there, it works. Yeah.
For sure.
Don't
For
forget
sure.
emojis, by the way. That helps too.
Yeah. I
Lowercase
actually
emojis.
love when a LinkedIn stands out because it's very
Yeah, dude.
hard to differentiate yourself on there, especially when everyone's doing the same exact like
Yes.
mundane thing. Like
Yes.
what I like about you specifically, Daniel, is you relate something completely unrelatable to your closing. You'll be like, just in time for the first day of school, I closed a deal with a restaurant. Like it's nothing to do with school, but
Hey,
it's
that's the
hilarious.
sizzle,
Oh.
baby. That's the sizzle right
Hey.
there.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it gets
No,
people
no.
to read. But when you see the exact same busy, like,
Yeah.
oh, just closed, and there's like a big excavator in the
Yeah.
back, and then there's 100 words, and then there's the really boring, headshot of somebody from a bank, and you're just like, I don't want to read all that. It's annoying.
Yeah.
Just getting down to the nitty gritty of what you did and what you do, I think it works better, and that's what you have figured out. But now people enjoy looking at the most unrelatable thing ever to your deal, and they always want to see what you're coming up with next. And
Oh,
it's been
yeah.
talked about. So that's
Totally.
why and if you, I don't know if you guys also follow my coworker like Shem, like he's really kind of
I
standing
do.
out on.
Oh, he's hilarious.
It's
Yeah,
hilarious
dude.
because
He
he's
is so funny.
taking
The shorts,
everything
yeah,
we
man, I
think
love
about
it.
and he's flipping it upside down and making it the
Yeah.
most dramatic scenario you could ever
Yes.
think of, and it's
I freaking
working.
love
I've
it.
never met him, but he's
And
hilarious. I've
there
never
are
met him, but I feel
there
like
are
I know
people
him.
who have tried for years to make their LinkedIn or anything social media fun and engaging and want people to come back for more. And now it's people are chomping at the bit like, what is Shem going to post next week? What is
Yeah.
Daniel going to
No,
post next week?
It's
I enjoy
amazing.
his stuff, man. Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing.
Right.
It's
I gotta get this
amazing.
guy's
Well,
name. I
Daniel,
don't follow him.
Yeah.
You know what Daniel does, which I think is awesome. It's so true, and it's also just funny, right? He'll be like, just got this deal closed, referral fee of this, made way more money than me on it.
Yep. That's
I think
what, because it's the
that's
truth.
amazing.
And nobody
Yeah.
ever wants
It's
to talk
amazing.
about like the
Yeah.
stigma around how much money this industry can
Yeah,
make you. And
man.
it's just, you're
Yeah.
good at it and
Yeah.
you're honest about it and you're making it fun. That's what
Yeah,
this
man.
is all about.
It's slightly passive aggressive, which is amazing as well.
Yeah.
I feel like you're on Daniel's team, like because you're like tracking his year-to-date numbers too. I'm like, where's he
Yeah.
at year-to-date? Where I want to see you know who's how
Yeah.
much did the broker get paid? I love it.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
how I met Daniel. Actually, was LinkedIn. That's where I found him.
See, told you it works. Yeah.
I was like,
It does work.
I met you in at that broker event, but I'm like, wait a minute, I know this guy, and we started
It's the same
talking. And it was
guy,
like, this is the guy that's posting like $100 million a year, having a great time with it. So
Yeah.
that's where I
Yes,
first met you.
Daniel, the question was, so how much have you done this year? He's like, look at LinkedIn, it's on there.
What a brat.
I know, right?
Like his posts don't even take that long to make. And he's like, just look at my LinkedIn. Whatever. But that is in a competitive landscape, knowing that, there are platforms out there specific
Yeah.
to finding a deal or doing this, but LinkedIn is wonderful. It is a wonderful resource for all of us. And so to sort of, mold it into your own and know that it's working it's awesome, and it's free. And that's the best
Yeah.
part about it. Really quickly, just to get back into the driving the deal flow question I had, what are other ways besides LinkedIn that you guys are finding that you're generating new business? Obviously, John doesn't cold call. Andrew's got 17 underwriters. DP likes to talk about who makes more money than him. What do we got for you, Zach?
I don't have any of that kind of fun stuff. I don't know.
All right, we need to work on task number 1 next week. Let's make Zach fun.
Yeah. I don't have that kind of fun. My bank doesn't allow me to have that kind of fun, I guess. So.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Why? They don't want you to write like fun?
They have to approve everything that's posted. So.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's you know what though, that keeps them safe, and it makes sure that you guys aren't, acting a fool out there, which you don't exactly like radiate foolery. So you seem like you're pretty normal. Well, not like Daniel.
We like to have a lot of fun off camera. So off LinkedIn. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, my bank recommends that it goes through our corporate marketing. So, I mean, I can, but I just got to be very careful about things. So,
well, what about do you guys participate in like monthly newsletters, email blasts? Is there anything that you sort of showcase internally?
Yeah, we have a weekly, like every 2 weeks, they send out a blast for what deals are closing. Like kind of direct marketing to
I get
brokers.
that from you, by the way. Yeah, I get that email.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, I do. It's in my junk, but I open it up and it's right there. So
trash.
Block sender list. Block sender list.
No,
but Emily, one of the things is this, right? I mean, I'm kind of like Daniel. I don't watch the podcast afterwards because for me it's so cringe watching myself talk. So I don't do that. But this is like out of my comfort zone. I'm not usually like I'm pretty decent in person, you know what I mean? But this is like I feel like, man, someone's gonna like bring this up later on and just point it out to me. I'll feel like they're working ass or something like that. So this is out of my comfort zone for sure to do something like this. But I think it does work in a certain sense.
Man.
One way or the other, they're gonna have an opinion of me, right?
Right.
And then I'm hiring BDOs. I mean, I don't know how many applications I've got. People like, hey, I actually saw your podcast, right? I'm like, you still want to work with me?
I love that.
Hey.
I didn't even think about this podcast because I've been on it for so long that like this is like, oh, that's really great. That's really great that somebody recently reached out to you like, oh, I saw you on a podcast. I love that.
Yeah.
And it's cringe.
It's getting bigger.
It is cringe to listen to yourself the first couple times. And I've always thought I've had like more of like a boy sounding voice. Like I don't have like a super girly like tone to me.
So you really don't, but we still like you.
I know. It's because you like girls that sound like men.
He goes to Thailand a lot. Let's go to Thailand. No, I don't think you have. I don't think you have a higher. And you know what? For the record, the super high voice, I'm not a fan of either. You know what I mean? That's like it's too much. It's like nails on a chalkboard. So your voice is very pleasant. I don't know what you're talking about.
Thank you. Yeah, we were at our offsite the other day or last week, and in order, Ray was virtual, obviously because he just had a baby, so he was virtual to the meeting. And the only way you could hear it was literally we had to like pass a microphone around to everybody. I'm like, Ray, can you hear us? He goes, oh, yep, there goes Emily with her soothing voice. And I was like, oh, okay.
You do have a radio voice. It's a very radio voice. It's very
that's awesome. I never thought it'd be like it sounded like that, but thank you. Thank you very much.
And different than Daniel, who's going to compliment me on everything. I'm actually telling you the truth. I'm kidding.
That's because Daniel is a gambler, so he has to have a poker face and lie sometimes to make everybody feel good. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Not true.
Hey, is there anything else you guys wanted to add? Have like add really quick to the episode before we end it, or do we think we're?
I mean, I think this is a great platform, and I know you guys do this for other BDOs out there, right? Which I think is great. I think there's many different schools of thought, but for myself, I like to know my competition, and if I'm going to lose a deal, I'd rather give it to Zach because I know that his institution is going to be able to do that deal well, right? I think kind of know your enemies as your friends in a certain sense, right? But at the same time, I think it's really important to network on that side. So BDOs who are watching this, a lot of them like, oh, I can't talk to them. I can't. You should talk to all your competition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the reality is we all do something a little bit different, right? And if you do the right thing and you do the right karma thing, you set a deal, it usually comes back to you, right? That's the
I
way
agree
I
with
feel
John.
about
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
think you got to kind of know your competition, and I'd rather give to somebody that I have a personal contact with at that institution than just nobody. You know what I mean? Or just an
Yeah.
institution, right?
Yeah, I've done things like where they tell me when we're kind of wishy-washy on the deal, I gotta take this deal to Daniel's bank, and I tell them, hell no, you're not gonna get it done there. They don't like BizX. What are you doing? And I'm right. I'm right. I mean, I'm not talking about Daniel specifically, but
That was a
a
backhanded
lot of times
compliment.
they
I
come
love it.
back and tell me, hey, you were right, And I'll even recommend one if we can't do the deal. But don't just go somewhere because somebody said so.
Yeah, I think the
Do some
reality is we
fact
all want to be
checking.
first look, right? We all want to be first
Oh yeah.
look. And if you
Yeah.
can be a conduit to find the borrower or the broker, an institution that can actually do the deal, if you can, then you'll probably remain first look, right? And if you don't, if you're a consultant, you kind of know what everyone's kind of doing, right? And it's helpful, right? And it's meaningful,
Yeah.
right? And somebody's going to bring you the deal, and you answer your phone, and you say, "I can't do it, but you should call so and so."
Yeah, and a lot of times they appreciate that, right? They're like, "Hey, man, thanks for this referral to
Super.
this other bank," and they'll come back to you.
Yep.
And that's the way I look at
Yep.
it. Yeah, I mean, it's for the greater good. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
And the ones that never come back, good riddance.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, guys, thank you so much for such a great episode. I love when the BDOs can contribute to the topics. But again, to any of our listeners, if you have suggestions going forward, send those over to the BDO Show at artvsba.com. I know that we have a new cast here, and they are excited to share all of the industry insights that they have. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.